Hello and welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashemi. It's actually indeed a good news all the way from Accra, Ghana. The 2023 African Games that was supposed to happen last year but postponed to this year because of logistics reason, and the venue for the games was not actually ready to host that game last year, and this year we are now having it. And it was a good news picking the first medal for Team Nigeria in table tennis. As we all know that table tennis was the first event that kick-started the 2023 African Games. Just yesterday, right there at the Accra International Conference Center, we got our first medal in table tennis, and that is Edem Offiong getting our first medal in the women's singles table tennis, bronze medal. The same achievement in 2019 right there in Rabat, Morocco, for Nigerian and Spanish-based table tennis star Offiong Edem. And then in the big one happened later in the night yesterday, that was between Aruna, Quadri, African #1, and second on the continent of Africa, Omar Assar of Egypt. And definitely Aruna Quadri was hoping to get the first African Games medal to a lot of medals that he has won, but eventually he lost that game 4-3 to Omar Assar. It was quite an intense game. It was a very close one. 4-3 ended in favor of Omar Assar right there in Ghana, getting silver medal in the table tennis singles men event. We also know that the team event will be coming up, so we'll be looking forward to see Aruna Quadri winning gold in the team's event. But for the singles men's final, he lost it 4-3 to Omar Assar of Egypt. And our own Edem Offiong that won the first medal for Team Nigeria, that is a bronze medal, also in table tennis, had to beat Abu Dhabi of Egypt in the round of the third round place. But at the end, she lost her semi-final game to Dina Masaref of Egypt. So both Egyptian beating our men and our men team and the female team in the finals, in the semi-final, and the Aruna Quadri, he lost in the final of that game, the table tennis singles event for men. I don't know if Adeleke Ayola from Benin City is ready to join us on the show. Okay, when he's ready, he'll be joining us, and also we'll be having Demuyiwa all the way from Lagos also joining us on the show. But good news for us that we started the games on a very sound note, winning the bronze medal and the silver medal for Team Nigeria. We're just we're still expected to get gold in the table tennis sport because the team event will still come up. That's why the singles is wrapped up. We also have the team side of table tennis, where you'll be seeing that they will be pairing each other 2-2. Aruna Quadri will pair with Nigerian player, so also and compete with other countries that are there. About 11 countries are taking part in the table tennis event, and you know the big guns are there already. Nigeria, Egypt. When you mention the ping pong game on the continent of Africa, these two countries I just mentioned are not pushed away when it comes to table tennis on the continent of Africa. Still talking about the African Games while we wait for our guests to join us on the show via Zoom. It's a big one. It was a big party, a big contingent of the wrestling women, wrestling team who arrived in who will be leaving for Accra today precisely to join other teams, Nigerian teams that are already in Accra, Nigerian athletes that are already in Accra. But for the big one, for the wrestlers, it's quite a good one. All right, we have Delicate away from Benin City joining us on the show. Good morning and welcome to 360 Sports. Okay, Ademuyiwa, sorry, not Ademuyiwa, all the way from Lagos. Ademuyiwa, welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Okay, please, if you can hear me, can you speak louder a bit so that our viewers at home can hear you?
Good morning. I can hear you clearly. Can you also hear me?
Oh, we can. Go ahead. For our team, Team Nigeria, we got the first medal. That is a bronze medal coming from Edem Offiong in the table tennis sport. I think this is a sign of good thing to happen to Team Nigeria in the 13th edition of the African Games.
It's good one, considering the fact that it's been a while that she has featured, and I think the last competition she had in South Korea, was it Korea or South Korea, actually helped her a lot. And you know, when it comes to table tennis, the Egyptian and they are not something to write away. And if you look at the trend, you will understand that even both the men and the women single were pushed a bit by the Egyptian. So I think it's a good start for her, and hopefully, if she's going to be a pair in the doubles, maybe something good will come out of that. But notwithstanding, you know, the previous African Games, she won medals. And this one too, she won another medals too. So it's something to be proud about. And I envisage something good coming out when it comes to the doubles.
Aruna Quadri, who has been chasing an African Games medal when it comes to table tennis, African #1. Lost the singles final to Omar Assar. He's a very big rival on the continent of Africa again last night. We were thinking that Aruna Quadri would be able to win the singles men's final, but at the end, it ended on 4-3 in favor of Omar Assar of Egypt.
I am not surprised, because looking at the draw players, they have been rivals for a while now. So I'm not surprised that the result went that way. So, and he actually lost it to a good contender. So I don't feel any surprise about the result.
Okay, you don't feel surprised
considering
about
the fact that is the #1 in Africa. So notwithstanding, I don't feel surprised about the results.
Okay, you don't feel surprised about the result. #1 in Africa and #2 on the continent of Africa, both of them playing. It was expected that both of them would play the final, but at the end of the day, #2 player on the continent of Africa actually beat Aruna Quadri. Now, the next story is our wrestlers are right there. They will be leaving the shores of the country today for Ghana, and you know, when it comes to wrestling, Nigeria is not pushover. Let's quickly look at the full list of the wrestlers that will be showcasing the African Games 2023. We have for the women wrestler, we have Genesis Messi, who will be fighting in the 50 kg category. We have Ogusanya Christiana Tolulope in the 53 kg, and we have African #1 Adekure Odunaya of Olashade will be fighting in the 57 kg category, and we have Kolawole Esther Omolayo 62 kg, and we have Uburududu Blessing, also African #1 in that category, 68 kg, and then we have Ruben Hannah Amuchechi in the 76 kg category. And I think Ruben Hannah is making her first appearance at the African Games. And then for the men freestyle, we have Ezomoni Simon 57 kg, we have Izolo Stephen Simon 65 kg, and we have Brave Man Onyek Peremo on the 74 kg category. We have Harrison 86 kg category. We have Mutawa Ashton Adeyemi Amin 125 kg Greco-Roman, and we have Noweri Emmanuel Chinonso in the 77 kg category. We have Olabo Solomon 87 kg, and we have Okuru Augustine and the 138 kg category for men. And then for the officials, we know Ako Purity, Burutu Happiness, Victor Kode, and Goswi Tebril. These fantastic coaches have been doing well when it comes to wrestling, and they've been camping in Yenegua for months now, and definitely by today, before the end of today, they'll be leaving the shores of Nigeria for Accra, Ghana, where a wrestling event will be starting on the 9th, just a few days away from now. How hopeful do you think our wrestler will perform this time around at the African Games?
I'm quite hopeful that they will make us proud, and most importantly, because of I'm actually going to Ghana in 2 days' time for the games. So because of so I would like to even witness the event because of Odunayo and Blessing. So I want to see how improved they are, considering the fact that they are champion their own lane. So I want to see what they can offer and what they can achieve, and also bring the to give the country this proud emblem also. So I'm looking forward to Odunayo, especially, and Blessing. So I want to see them make the country proud once again.
Okay, you are looking forward to Odunayo, Blessing, and we have Odunayo, and then we have Blessing Adekuroye there, who will be doing so well. Yes. Blessing Oburuduto, I beg your pardon, and Odunayo Adekuroye, who will be doing us proud when it comes to wrestling at the African Games. They will be leaving the shores of the country today, and events for wrestling will start on the 9th of March. So it's a big one. Well, I believe at the end of this game, on the 24th of March, Nigeria should be in a better position on the medals table, because we will be participating in 25 sports right there in the African Games, and we're looking forward to hauling so many medals at the end of the day. All right, let's leave the wrestling story now and come back home proper. Let's look at the Nigerian Premier Football League for March day 23. It was action at the Pantami Stadium in Gombe, though that game didn't go the way of Gombe United. They were head to a 1-1 draw after Yusuf gave them the lead on the 29th minute, only for Hadi on the 79th minute, Mohamed Hadi on the 79th minute, to level things for Shooting Stars of Ibadan. It was 1-1. It ended right there at the Pantami Stadium, but it was sad at the end of the day. Falke Gali on the 95th minute of that game was red carded, but the team was able to hold on to that one goal, and it ended 1-1. It in 1-1 apiece at the end of the regulation time in the Nigerian Premier Football League. The continuation and the wrap-up of match day 23 in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Let's look at the table quickly before we react. Let's look at the Nigerian Premier Football League table. Despite that draw, let's look at what it means for both teams. Lobby Stars remain at the top of the table with 42 points. We have Plateau United second with 41 points. We have Enugu Rangers third with 40 points. Remo Stars is fourth with 39 points, and Enyimba International is on the 5th position with 39 points. Kano Pillars is sixth with 36 points. We have Katsina United 7th with 34 points. Abia Warriors 8th. Doma United is 9th, and Bendel Insurance is 10th on the table with 31 points. Now, both teams that played are the flip side of the table. Let's look at what 1 point means for both teams, if they actually moved or they remained where they are. For Shooting Stars of Ibadan, they did not move. They remained on the 11th position with 31 points. Sporting Lagos 28, Rivers United 13, having played lesser games, having 3 games in hand. They have 27 points, and they are on the 13th position. Sunshine Stars of Akure is 14th with 27. We have Bayelsa United 15th with 27 points. Kwara United is 16th with 25 points. We have Akwa United 17 with 24 points, and Gombe United, who were held to a 1-1 draw by Shooting Stars, remain on the 19th position without moving up the table with 22 points, and Heartland FC of Owerri is 19th on the table. Ademuyiwa, for the second stanza of the league, I think it has been living up to his billings. It has been exciting, interesting games in the second round of the Nigerian Premier Football League, and the last game for March day 23 was 1-1 between Gombe United and Shooting Stars of Ibadan. That game was an interesting game at the Pantami Stadium. Both teams are at the second side of the Nigerian Premier League table, 11th and 19th position.
If you look at the table very well, you will see how struggling Gombe United are compared to their counterpart in the Gombe there, which is Doma United. So I am not really surprised about what came out from the game, because Shooting Star of Ibadan as a team is not even a pushover at all. So if you are looking at about the calibers of players within the teams, so I feel the maybe should I say it's just a deserved draw for Gombe United, because I felt there's nothing stopping Shooting Star from gaining a absolute victory in that game. So I'm not that surprised that they picked a point there, because if you see what they are even 9 points behind. Gombe United are 9 points behind the Shooting Star. So I'm not surprised. So if you see the table looking very well, you see how struggling they are. 19th on the log. So it's actually a good game for Shooting Stars.
Okay, what has been your own general assessment of the Nigerian Premier Football League for the 2023-2024 league season? What's your own general assessment? How has the league been for you? What's your own perspective? What do you think about the league? Are we getting there? Are we actually getting it right? Is it exciting, interesting? What is your own assessment, Muyiwa?
Sure. We are getting there gradually. Although there are still a lot of work to be done, but notwithstanding, we are getting there gradually, because we are seeing some fans being associated with the league now compared to a few years back. People who wants to be changing a negative comments toward the league and all. So now we can see what some clubs are capable of doing when it comes to rebranding of the team and some kind of activities as well. So to an extent, we are getting there, and I hope if they continue and they are more consistent about what is happening now, I hope at least we get a drastic.
Okay, we now have Ayola Adeleke all the way from Benin City joining us on the show. Ayola, welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. We looked at the African Games, the performance of Team Nigeria. It started with table tennis, Edem getting the first medal for us, and Aruna Quadri lost the singles men's final to second on the continent of Africa, 1 and 2. That is, the Aruna Quadri is number 1 on the continent, and Omar Assar of Egypt second. But at the end of the day, it was 4-3 in favor of Omar Assar of Egypt. That was what before we talked about the Nigerian Premier Football League. Quickly, your own, how do you think have we started the African Games 2023 on a very sound note, a bronze medal? At this same position was where Edem was at the last edition in Morocco.
Yeah, good morning, and thanks for having me around on your show today. Nigeria, we haven't done bad on a starting note, if I may put it that way, because you take a look at getting 2 medals already, bronze medal and a silver medal. In as much as people would want to, ask for gold medal, Edem Offiong, I think when I saw her winning that one, I was like, oh, the older the wine, the better the taste. She's been on the scene for a very long time, and the people she lost against, they are not pushover. She lost against Dinameshrev, Africa's number 1 in the semi-final. So you want to cut her some slack. And she got to the third place game and she remedied herself with the bronze medal. So a very good one for Edem Offiong for getting us that bronze medal. And for Aruna Quadri, though he's Africa number 1, and I want to say probably the best Africa of all time in the world of table tennis, but he has always been finding it difficult to do anything against Omar Assar, even in Nigeria, where they came around to play in 2019, the African Championship. Omar Assar always have an edge over him. Even aside that, some other tournaments they played together, Omar Assar is like he knows the key to Aruna Quadri's fitness and weakness, and that has always been his own selling point. So, but that doesn't take away the fact that Aruna Quadri remains the best in Africa. And Nigeria has started on a good note, if you ask me. We have 2 medals already, bronze and silver, and that is more like a push for us that, okay, the next thing for us to aim at now is gold medal in other events. And I'm very confident that to some extent, we are going to get as much as possible from the team Nigeria. So, and for the MPFL, My summary for the season so far is that the NPFL hasn't been bad. Yes, in as much as we know that there's always room for improvement, but we believe that we can always get there. So much engagement, unlike before. We have many content creators coming in now, fans and all that, creating content similar to that of European football, where people want to be associated with their traditional clubs or their state club and all that. And we can also see improvement from the managers, from the referees as well, although we still have some pockets of some challenges and fans as well. But I think the fans issue hasn't been as big or as bad as it was last season, but we've seen some clubs caution this season and being told that to adjust. But we haven't seen any club moved away from their home ground to another home ground on discipline issue, and this is match day 23. So that is a very big plus. Although we know that when the league is getting to the climax stage, we know that it's always a very tough one. But we believe that the MPL, they'll be able to curb as many shortcomings of club as possible. But on an average of 10, I think I can rate the MPFL 5. Yes, we are getting there. I believe that by next season we can climb to 6th, on ranking, depending on what we are going to bring to the table. But I think it's an average performance. We can always get better.
Yes, it can only get better, to tell you the truth. In the Nigerian Premier Football League this season, after March day 23, we've recorded 15 away wins in the league this season, and that's a massive one coming in the Nigerian Premier Football League. All right, let's leave the Nigerian Premier Football League and go straight to Europe. There were actions like tonight in the match day, in the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League. After the second leg of those games were played, Lazio, Bayern Munich, and Real Sociedad against Paris Saint-Germain. And it's the good news. These two teams, Bayern Munich, have made it to the quarterfinal of the UEFA Champions League this season, and Real Sociedad, who lost to Paris Saint-Germain 2-1 to end the aggregate on 4-1 aggregate after they lost the first leg 2-0 right there in Parc des Princes. And also for Bayern Munich, they lost to Lazio first leg 1-0 in Rome, and at the end of the day, on the night in Allianz and Arena, the Bavarians came to the party. The man who knows how to get the goals, who have the eyes for the goal, got the brace in that game. It ended 3-1 in favor of Bayern Munich, and they are through to the quarterfinal of the UEFA Champions League. Ayola, I think I will stay with you quickly. I think those two teams they've been having their own fair shares of trouble. For Mbappe and PSG, it's not really been rosy, but he came to the party, he got them the goals, and now PSG is into the quarterfinal of the UEFA Champions League. And for Bayern Munich, hot water for them. They are not doing well in the league, but at the end of the day, they came to the party, they rose up to the occasion. Now they are through to the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. Quickly, Ayola.
Yeah, for Bayern Munich, I think it's a very good one for them and a sign of relief in the team. In as much as we know that Thomas Tuchel is not going to be in the aim of affair for them come next season, because they've already agreed that they're going to leave the club at the end of the season. Maybe if the unthinkable happened, they may decide to retain him. But for now, we know that Thomas Tuchel is not going to be there for next season. And I think just more like the Jurgen Klopp of Liverpool, knowing fully whether you're not going to be with the club next season, you want to take every of your last game against every team you meet up with as the game of your life, because you know that you will not have opportunity of playing against this team again. And I think that was what played out yesterday against SS Lazio. Initially, I didn't see SS Lazio as a stumbling block for Bayern Munich, but the first leg when they won 1 goal to nothing, a lot of criticism set in for Bayern Munich and all that. But the team came to the fore yesterday, and they proved their point, they proved their mettle, they proved what they are capable of doing. 3-1 is not anyhow, upturning 1-0, although we know that 1-0 is nothing in football, especially on a home and away basis. But having to turn things around, 3-1, and Harry Kane getting 2 goals in that match is a very big one for him. And I think that Bayern Munich can build on this. I'm very confident in that in the Champions League. And talking about Paris Saint-Germain and Kylian Mbappe, I don't think there's any issue here. Kylian Mbappe has already told them he's not going to be there next season. We know he's going to move to another club. And Luis Enrique is already working towards life after Kylian Mbappe. Anytime he feels that he's needed, he throws him into the field. And anytime he feels that, okay, there's a need for us to experiment life after he withdraws him. But yesterday he came to the fore as well. He also got 2 goals for his team. No matter what the case may be, no matter what the situation may be, he's still a Paris Saint-Germain's player. and definitely he's still earning salary. So he should work for what he's earning. And I think getting 2 goals for them yesterday is a very big one. And a big congratulations to them in the quarterfinal. Let's see if Luis Enrique is an experienced coach. He's been to the World Cup, he's been to the Champions League a couple of times with Barcelona and other clubs, and AS Roma, I think, if I'm not wrong. So I think he's also got enough experience, but does he have the arsenal in his team to do something big for his team? That is the question that we should be asking. But in the quarterfinal, a big one for them, a big one for Kylian Mbappe also, signing out, or ending well, yes, for Paris Saint-Germain, and more like some kind of a boost for the team he's going to play for next season, that, this guy is still in the form of his life. So let's have it. So a good one for the 2 of them, Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain. Congratulations to them.
Yes, a good one for Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich. Moyiwa, I don't know if you quickly want to talk about that game, the game of PSG between Real Sociedad last night. For Kylian Mbappe, you cannot take that shine away from him. He's the star of the Parc des Princes. They call him the Paris poster boy. Okay. Okay. Moyiwa, if you can hear me, please speak up.
He has shown. I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So I said he has always proven to be who we think he is. So, and I so much love him for that.
Okay, you so much love him for that. Let's quickly look at. Okay.
Every game with utmost seriousness. So, like Ayola has said, he has also proven that to the teams that he's ready to take him in, that he does worth it as far as the transfer market is concerned. So he's doing fine.
Okay, he's doing fine. All right, let's quickly look at there's 2 transfers on the show. Before we go, one will be for you, Ayola, and the other will be for Demuyiwa. Quickly, for Manchester United, they are looking at the way of striker Joshua Zakizi, who is a very young 21-year-old Bologna striker. I don't know, for you, Ayola, quickly, is this kind of a striker that Manchester United should go for?
Well, it's not a bad one for Zexi and Manchester United if they can both have an agreement on this one. He's a young lad, and I think taking it through a look into his statistics not a moment ago, he's got 11 goals in 29 games this season for AS Roma. I don't think that is a bad one. Maybe they are not bringing him in as their top striker, but definitely he's going to complement the forward line. So I think it's a good one for the 2 sides. If he feels that he can do well at Manchester United,
please, you have to hold your thought right there. Before we go quickly, this next one, Pedri, for now, Barcelona are going to listen. They are ready to accept offers for Pedri, who is suffering with a lot of injuries, and they want to let him go and enjoy life elsewhere. All right, that is where we're going to leave it on the show, 360 Sport. Thanks Ademuyiwa and Ayola, Benin and Lagos for joining me on the show this lovely morning. And that is the size of it, 360 Sports from Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Say thanks for watching.